Hello friends, good evening. Today we'll discuss about the frequent asked questions related to Section 80G, that is the nudge campaign. What is the Section 80G of the Income Tax 1961 and what it provides for the inspector donation, donation made to the certain funds and charitable institutions. A broad structure of this section is given below. So we will discuss about the clauses given section and subsection of section 80G and sub clauses as well. And so in clause 1 explain how much donation can be one claim. It gives the calculations formula to calculate the total donations deduction that you will get. Means if the donation include the special fund enlisted in subsection 2, one gets 100% deduction on the those special donations plus 50% deduction for on remaining donations. And if donations are only to the other eligible funds, one get 50% deduction on total donations. Means other eligible funds that they are we will discuss in the later part of this video, and you will get 50%. Means most of the donation given to the PM care fund and some of the organizations which is owned and governed by the government are get 100% donation. And for other trust which is not backed or granted by the government is generally get 50% donation deduction, not donation. This is the deduction. So this is the normal way of deduction, getting deduction under section 80G. What we have, what are in this section. And clause section 2 informs the donation that qualify for deduction. It contains a master or list of all the list funds or institutions eligible for deduction. Specific government and national funds, National Defense Fund, PM Relief Fund, Clean Ganga Fund, these gets 100% deduction without limit, because these are of the government backed 100% government funds. So this, if you invest in this funds, then you will get 100% deduction. And memorial fund, Nehru, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi funds, this gets 50% deduction without limit. And other funds or institutions, government local authorities for charitable purposes, housing urban development authorities, special corporations under section 1026 BB, government approved bodies for family planning, donation for renovation of notified religious places of historical archaeological importance, donation by companies for sports infrastructures and sponsorship, donation for Gujarat earthquake relief specific period only. And clause 4 talks about the gives the maximum limit for certain donation. For donations under clause A4, A5, A6, A6A, A7, BC, total deduction is capped at 18% of donors adjusted gross total income. Any amount beyond this limit, 10% is ignored. Clause 5 talks about gives the eligibility condition for institutions. It enlists 9 conditions. Clause 1 to 9 that institutions must meet to be eligible under section 80G. These are institutions' income should be exempt under section 11, 12 or 1023 AA, 1023C. Trust deed must not allow fund to be used for non-charitable purposes. Must not be for benefit of any particular religion or caste. Must maintain regular accounts. Must be properly registered as a trust society under Companies Act or as a university. Must be approved by the principal commissioner or commissioner of income tax. Special deeming provision for institutions approved in 2007-2008. Must file prescribed statement with income tax authorities. Must issue donation certificates to donor. Means eligibility condition, it enlists 9 conditions must meet for eligible for deduction under section 80G. And if you go to the clause 5, if it talks about the if you have claim deduction under section 80G for any amount and you cannot claim the same under any other section of this income tax act, that is one donation, one deduction only. It gives cash donation limit. No deduction allowed for cash donation exceeding 2000. Mode of payment accepted are check, draft or electronic modes. Means no deduction will allowed for cash deduction exceeding. मतलब you can claim deduction up to 2000 if you are paying donation in cash less than 2000. And 5 is talks about the application pending before the specified date will be treated as a new application under the updated rules. Explanation 2a. Deduction claim will be verified based on the information submitted by by donee institutions registered under section 80G subsection 5 to the tax authorities. Explanation 3. Meaning of charitable purposes. Charitable purpose does not include activities that are wholly or substantially religious in nature. Explanation 4. Sports associations specified the governments are deemed charitable institutions. Explanation 5. Deductions is allowed only for the monetary donations and not donation in kind. What is the difference between donation and deductions? Donation is the actual amount of money donated to a charitable organization, trust or fund. However, deduction is the tax benefit you get for making that donation to any eligible donee when computing your taxable income as per extant rules. Provision of section 80G of the act. What is the difference between the donor and donee? A donor is a person who has paid any sum to the eligible institutions or trust or fund as donation. A donee is eligible organization or trust or fund which accepts the sum from various persons as a donation. Who is eligible to claim deduction under section 80G? Any taxpayers, including individuals, HUF companies, firms, or any other person who has taxable income and has made donation to an eligible entity can claim a deduction under this section. What are the type of donations allowed under section 80G? As per section 80G1, 80G2, 80G4 of this act, donation falls into 4 categories based on the deduction limits: 100% without limit, full donation amount, no limit, maximum limit that you claim is there is no limit, 50% without limit, 50% donation amount, no limit, 100% with limit, full donation amount, 10% of adjusted total income, and 50% with limit, 50% of donation, and 10% of adjusted total income. Are the all donation eligible for section 80G deduction? No, only donation made to a specific trust, charitable funds or institutions which are specifically mentioned under section 80G2A of the act, and funds or institutions registered and approved under section 80G by income tax department are eligible for deduction. It is mandatory for donor to verify and confirm the relevant details of the trust, institutions or charitable funds donee to ensure its eligibility under section 80G and to determine the correct category of the deductions applicable. A quick reference flowchart is given below. Are you making a donation? Yes. Check subsection 2 of section 80G of the Income Tax Act. Is the organization or fund listed? Yes. Check subsection 5. Does the organization meet all 9 conditions? Yes. The donation above 2000 should not be in the cash. Subsection 5D. No, they not eligible, and calculate the deduction under using subsection 1. 100% without limit special funds, and 50% without limit, that is memorial funds. 10% limit subsection 4. Claim only once subsection 5A. Get certificate from the organizations subsection 5 1 5(9). What are the example of donation that qualify for 100% deduction without any qualifying limit? Donation to the funds or institutions listed under subsection 80G2. 80G2 means subsection 1A. This is the sections 100% deduction without any qualifying limit. Thus there are 24 funds or categories eligible for 100% deduction without any qualifying limit, and list of the same is attached as annexure 1. Annexure, you will get the annexure in the below numbering. What are the examples of donation that qualify for 50% deduction without any qualifying limit? Donation to the fund institutions are listed under section 80G2 subsection 1 of section 3, and the Prime Minister drought relief fund are eligible for deduction under section 80G of the act for 50% of donation amount without qualifying limit, not that subclause 2, 3C, 3D are omitted by the Finance Act 2003 with effect from 1st April 2023. What are the example of donations that qualify for 100% deduction with qualifying limit? Donation to the funds or institutions listed under Section 80G2, subsection A, subsection 7, subsection C, eligible for deduction under Section 80G of the Act for 100% with qualifying limit. 80G2A7, the government or to any such local authorities, institutions or association has been approved in this behalf by the central government to be listed to be utilized for the purpose of promoting family planning. 80G2C, any sum paid by honor of being company in the previous year as donation to Indian Olympic Association or to any other association or institution established in India as a central government may, having regard to the prescribed guidelines, by notification in the official gazette is specified in this behalf for in India the development of infrastructure for sports and games or sponsorship of sports and games. What are the example of donation that qualify for 50% deduction with qualifying limit? Any sum paid to the funds or institutions mentioned in 80G2 subsection 2 or subclause A subsection 4, 5, 6, 6A, 80GB B for other entities mentioned under 80G2A4 needs to fulfill the conditions mentioned under 80G5 of the Act. Thus, the 5 category eligible for 50% deduction with qualifying limit are any fund or institutions to which this section applies, the government or any local authority to be utilized for any charitable purposes other than the purpose of promoting family planning, any authority constituted in India by or under in law enacted either for the purpose of dealing with or satisfying the need for housing accommodation or for the purpose of planning development of improvement of cities, towns or villages or both. Any corporations referred to in clause 26B of section 10, any sum paid by the SEC in the previous year as a donation for renovation or repair of any such temples, mosque, gurdwara, church or other places is notified by the central government in the official gazette to be the historic, archaeological or artistic importance or to be place of public worship or renown throughout any state or states. How can a donor know the deductions category of any donation under Section 80G? The deduction category donation is defined in Section 80G of the Income Tax Act 1961 and deduction falls is in either of the 4 categories referred for FAQ 5 to 10 is defined in Section 80G of the Act from where the donor can ascertain the deduction category. Donors are also required to seek the certificate of donation as per Form 10BE, Rule 18AB of the Income Tax Rule 1962 from the donee wherever applicable. Further, to get the particulars of the donee, the donor may visit the link that is http incometaxindia.gov.in pages utilities exempted institutions.apx. It is advised to the donor that they verify and ascertain the various particulars of the trust or institutions or funds donee to understand the eligibility and deductions category of the donee to which it belongs to. Are all cash donations eligible for deduction under Section 80G? No deduction shall be allowed under Section 80G in respect of any donation of any sum exceeding 2,000 rupees unless such sum is paid by any mode other than cash. Section 80G 5D. If a deduction under Section 80G is claimed and allowed, can I claim the same, such as a deduction under any other provision of the Act? No, sum in respect of which deduction is allowed under Section 80G shall not qualify for deduction under any other provision of this Act for the same or any other assessment year 80G 5A. How will same income tax department verify any deduction claim in respect of the income? As per Rule 18AB, Income Tax Rule 1962, it is mandatory for certain category of donate in the to Form 18BD, which includes defined information about each donor, such as their PAN or Aadhaar name, address, and the amount donated by the donor, etc. Accordingly, it is mandatory that deduction claim by the donor under Section 80G in their ITR matches with the details submitted by donee in the Form 10BD. Can deduction under Section 80G be claimed under new tax regime? No, deduction cannot be claimed if you opt for new tax regime as per section 115 BAC of Income Tax 1961. FAQ relating to the filing of section 80G in ITR. How to claim ATG deduction while filing ITR. The steps for claiming deductions under ATG as follows. Go to deduction chapter 6A in your ITR form, select the section 80G, enter the details of donation amount, eligible deductions. What details are required to fill claim ATG deductions? Donation receipt from the NGO with name, PAN of the donee, address of the donee, registration number of section ATG, amount donated. What if I do not have the PAN of donee? Charitable insurance such as registered is issue form 10BE, which includes the detail of the donee, that is the name, PAN, unique registration number. The donor can ask the trust or institution to provide the certificate, which includes the essential detail of claiming the deduction under section 80G of Income Tax 1961, and the donor can also get the detail of PAN by entering the name of the trust, organizations or fund in the link. Can I carry forward the uncertain donation amount to the next year? Under section 80G, if your total exceeds qualifying limit, you cannot carry the excess amount forward for a deduction in near future. What happens if a donee institution loses in ATG registration? Donation made after cancellation or after expiry of ATG certificate are not eligible for deduction. Therefore, it is mandatory for the donor to verify and confirm whether donee was registered under the relevant provision of the Income Tax Act during the relevant assessment year for which the deduction is being claimed to ensure its eligibility for deduction. What is the adjusted total income? Amount of deduction, meaning thereby that what is adjusted gross total income is the gross total income as defined in 80B5. Gross total income means total income computed in accordance with the provision of this act before making any deduction under chapter 6A of the Income Tax Act 1961, reduced by the total of the following amount deductible under section 80C to 80U but not section 80G: exempt income, long-term capital gains, short-term capital gain under section 311A, income referred to in section 115A, 115AB, 115AC, 115AD, 115D. How to calculate the deduction under section 80G? The eligible amount of deduction can be calculated as under: compute your gross total income before claiming a deduction under section chapter 6A, including ATG. Calculate to adjusted total income. Subtract all deductions except deduction under section 80G from the gross total income. Also exclude long-term capital gains, short-term capital gains under section 311A, income under section 115A, 115AB, 115AC, 115AD. The resulting figure is called the adjusted total income. Calculate 10% of adjusted total income. This is known as a qualifying limit. It applies to the category of donations which are subjected to a limit. Categorize donations into the following categories: 100% deductions without limit, 50% deduction without limit B, 100% donations subject to qualifying limit C, 50% deduction subject to qualifying limit D. And this is the name of the funds which is given in this below annexure 1. So you can National Defense Fund, Prime Minister National Relief Fund, and Africa Public Contribution Fund. All these are the funds, and if you require, you just take the photo of this annexure 1 and refer for your future references for claiming deductions. So thank you for this video and for watching till this till the end, and we will stay tuned to our channel for future and more details, and we will keep uploading the video on income tax, GST, and equity research also. We are planning to do some videos on equity research also. And so if you have any query, please comment us. We will guide you or explain the things that you have asked in the comment. Thank you. If you are new to my channel, please like and subscribe. This motivate us to prepare this video and for future also. Thank you.